All right, my beloved star bigots. I don't know if you're there yet, but you should get there. Let me get you up to speed. We are now hating people across astrological lines. That's it. No color, no what they do in the bedroom, not how they run their family, not how they think in their thinkuses. Unless they thinkuses be thinking dogma is the way to go, then their thinkuses must be reproved ever presently. By the astrological mind that has risen above the earthly plane into the cosmological realm. You see, star bigots before were extremely successful at weeding out the undesirable stars among them. And how they did it is through Venus. That's right, the ancient Aztecs or Mayans, they considered Venus. That's their midheaven ruler, and that's your ruler. The truth is, we got many gods. It's like a pantheon, right? You can get access to any of them through your temporal ruler. Your temporal ruler is your midheaven, your microcosm, your actuality, the brightest light, which is going to be Venus. Closest thing to you, the brightest thing to you besides the sun, right? The sun is absolute your ruler. You should be sun worshippers and ball polishers, not cross bearers. Ball polishing ain't gay, don't hurt nobody. Ball Jupiter is where we put those honors, right? Honors to ball Jupiter for love, favor, and contentment, sex and authority, hop and opportunity, right? Changes. Forward thinking. How the Aztecs did it is they'd hate you across astrological lines too. They knew certain star ingredients back down in their brains, and they knew if they took the star ingredients out of those people by sacrificing them at the right time, while Venus was over the midheaven, the ingredients go back to where they came, and they can, through astral necromancy, get access to that intelligence, which was the old process. It's kind of like the temporal process for the Greeks. There was sacrifice. The gods require things. They's hungry. Right now they just want your attention. Just those who astrologically are a full house sign. So in your rising sign, not a big deal. Your midheaven, in your actual sun sign is where multiple planets ought to be. You should have sun and moon and two other planets with the midheaven ruler. That is it. That's the people they want service from. The gods hate across astrological lines. To be truly bigoted, you must hate across cosmological concepts rather than color, ideologies, and candor, which are a mixed bag. To some people may be a certain way in one area, and then you see that they have a whole nother facet like a gem over there, and you're like, God damn, everywhere but here is like that. And then you find out that that's not true. They've got way more facets, right? We can't paint people into corn. We need to change how we hate, right? Let's hate across astrological lines together. Let me stoke your fire. Let me stoke your hate. Let me stoke your intelligence to spectrize and radiate outward what ought to be from the cosmological realm, the considerations thereof, the applications of thought, of hope, desire, favor, referrals, approvals, rights, and appeals, which all go through your midheaven ruler. Baal Jupiter, we give honor to because, he is the king of the gods, right? But your midheaven ruler should be Venus. Y'all got to look at your astrology. Astral segregation. Spectral separation from the cosmological ring. Because that's the truth, guys. I know I'm being funny about it. But the reality is this. The past is coming back in certain concepts. I believe what we're moving toward is a mental shift where we get access to the temporal process, which has been cut off from us for a while. It's going to get renewed for us, and renewed for a certain mind power. It's not these big businesses that's going to be favored. It's going to be people that are favoring Baal Jupiter and doing the right thing, favoring their midheaven ruler, exalting Venus, right? Venus is the closest thing and the brightest thing to us, the biggest thing that affects us. Jupiter is the celestial mind and opportunities that come from the cosmic realm, the authorizations thereof, the persona thereof of Jupiter personifies those things, right? You can get them out of it by reading about Jupiter. what he controls, what he has authority over. You find out what Venus has authority over. Venus really is the earth rule. It's a pantheon that most of us stuff should go through Apollo and Venus. That's the truth. We were designed to be sun worshippers, guys. You cannot live without the light. Come to the light and recognize the spectrum of light needs your analysis. Let's make spectromancers out of y'all. Discerning the spectrums of light, wavelengths, and perpetuities thereof. No, serious. What this is experience. We know the mind matter phenomenon is light, it's frequency, it's wavelength, right? And there's things that transverse the visible realm, right? What science does not grasp, because let's be honest, they're trying to grasp what here is, right? We don't have to do that. We can reach and raise our minds to the astrological realm, to the astral necromantic realm, where the things that were here past can bring the mental power that was here before into the ever present. So I'm calling everybody become necromantic, because the Bible even talks about people consulting spirits. But even the Bible, people were Baal worshiping. The Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, they were Baal worshiping, doing all sorts of stuff. It was actually favored. All that stuff was favored for generations, thousands of years. Now, they made a narrative out of it, right? I'm not buying the narrative. I don't buy the dogma at all. What I buy is that the reoccurring theme is astrology, astral cartography, right? Star segregation. You're separated by your stars, right? We are stars, guys. In that concept that we are an emanating creature, that from us we radiate, right? We are astrally projected here. We believe that through the zodiac, the Mazalat, and the whole concept is that people did come from above. The concept that we are each an assemblage of mind power trapped up in the zodiac, and then the emanations of gods, the planetoids, emanate through this body like an antenna. We're the makeup of those stars in an antenna body that has the emanations from Saturn all the way through to the sun, which make the body the way it is. The format for it, the bones, the concept, the whole cartilage, everything. The stuff comes from Saturn on down. That mind-matter matrix. The two celestial realms pushing it like a net coming both out of Saturn and out of Jupiter down to here that affects the psychosomatic waveforms which shape reality. Reality is shaped, right? We believe that there was a time where things were much more flexible, much more mystical, much more fantastic, right? We believe there's a time where the gods have remuted and hidden, got rid of the temporal process for various reasons, and that we carry dogma around as a reminder of the slayage of the children of the gods, which are those astrologically perfect beings that come down here and emanate what should be the format and follow and function for humanity in that given age. And there's been a break in that. They broke the Templar process, and now just these weird esoterics have access to it, and they don't really understand it. Because the people at the top do, for their benefit, because they get benefit at keeping people out of the pool. It's like a pool that only has so much resource. It's like a witchcraft resource pool that only has so much in a vat. They put too many people on the vat. The things they use to shape reality in their own minds and opportunities, because it brings things like a web fabric that you're pulling in, right? Everybody still keeps a net, but you get to pull things that are on the net closer to you based on where your mind is and your connection with the actual authority. The closer you are to the actual authorities, the better chance you get to being able to make things happen, right? And you can do it from where you're at. You don't always have to be at a pinnacle to make changes, to be stuck and need to want to make changes, right? You could be at the bottom. This is available for astrologically perfect types and astrologically considerate types, right? Because that's a perfect mind as well, right? Those things that consider those things, and then attache the importance of those things at the value that they require service, right? Because Hermeticists know we serve. Everybody knows we serve. Humanity serves the gods. The gods get to emanate through us and live out their roles, right? All the authority is ran by Saturn and Jupiter. We're moving back to an authoritative wavelength that's of a full wave spectrum. Before it was an absorbing light spectrum that was austere, negative, militaristic, very authoritative, very paper and pencil, right? The arrhythmia on existence, it's ruining everything. And there's a polarity shift about to happen, where the polarity shifts from that style of wavelength, absorbing all the light, to reflecting all the light. White and black. That's where you get your checker pattern. The Boaz and Jachin, the left and right. It's that concept that this whole place, the net that we're in, the tiles we're on, have a polarity, right? And that we can't seek any direct polarity and be successful at going into the temple, right? You climb up a pillar, you get on top of the temple. So if you climb up to Saturn without going through and considering the sun and moon, which is your actual service is sun and moon. I'm going to tell you that straight up. The next thing is your benefic, your midheaven ruler, your Venus, and then Jupiter at the top on Jachin's side. And we know it's Mercury, Mars, and then Saturn, right? You climb up the pillars. So you can climb up the benefic side. You can climb up the malefic side. But if you do that, you climb up a pillar. You don't get in the temple, right? You have to consider the whole process. We have to give honor to all of those. It's a pantheon, right? I know that sounds weird, but this is actually the service we're supposed to be doing. Not carrying dogma, not carrying somebody's cross for generations of people that were manslayers. I'm not that, guys. I'm not going to line up with these fuckers anymore. That stuff, it should be kicked out. They can do it. Let them do it. Because they're going to think you're the devil. Where is the devil? The devil is a nebulous concept. People do things that are socially responsible and personally responsible and not. And that's the difference. You're either thinking personally and socially responsible or you're not. And there's attaches wherever you're at that rule over those things, right? And when you get into the authority of that all goes back to Saturn and the authority of Jupiter and Saturn. The celestial consequences for the terrestrial actions. One works on authority and opportunity. The other works on consequences and outcomes, right? The celestial is the consequences, opportunities, and outcomes, right? The interior is also opportunities, but it's a little different, right? So, just some thoughts. Cosmological is bringing in stuff that you have no indications coming. Your midheaven and stuff rules over things that are happening right now, right? You get down with their now to get something moving, right? Just some thoughts. Just some astrological conjecture. Y'all have a great rest of your loving day. Beloved Star Wars there. It's my Star Wars. It's going to be great. That's what I'm hoping. Maybe we can push this as a new narrative. Because the other narratives fucking suck, guys. They're no fun. You can't even include people. It's all exclusive, right? Anyways, later, beloved.